Okay, we are back, and I believe you managed to defy the danger. Good job. So yeah, I think you find like deep in the like the under rocks, like you find some more coins, but you also find a chest that like a little wooden chest that it has like iron bounds, iron bonds on it and things, and has a lock on it that doesn't have like a traditional keyhole. It just has like a circle,
like a padlocky type thing hanging off the front.
A padlocky, yeah.
Chara is best in caves. I did it. I'm gonna tuck it away inside my clothes and then check that I haven't missed anything.
Yeah, apart from
I'm imagining I've like made myself my own little cave.
Yeah. Where I mean, like there were other coins and things down here, and like if you were to move the whole thing, you would be able to find like all of the coins, but that would take days.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of work.
Yeah, but you managed to like get down into the underbelly of the thing and have found like, I think there are probably also like a bunch of the little spears and things. Yeah.
Cool. More important than all of that, though, is this weird glowing that's going on. Which I'm very interested in.
Yeah.
And so I think Chara is just like has the chest, and like possibly Florin and the others are worried, but like Chara's just like, it's someone else's problem. And is just like now deeply absorbed in like studying these strange patterns on the stones. And you said there were like carvings?
Yeah, some of them are carvings, but the carvings...
And I'm imagining that the carvings are like is part of what's glowing?
Yeah, but there's also like lines through the rock where it's broken.
Yeah, right? Like, that's fucking super interesting. Like, what the fuck's going on there?
Yeah.
Is the inside of the cave also like glowing like this?
It is now. I think from Snake perspective, I think you can now see inside.
Snake-o-vision.
Yeah, Snake-o-vision. Like if you're like peering in, ready to like, find out.
I've probably already started going in at this point. They were taking a long time.
Further in, you can see a there is one of these nod caps in like little centurion armor, sans hat. And I think he's got what we would call he's got a sword, which is for us like a small dagger. But like and like he's like slumped against the back of the wall, and like he's got like in one arm he's got like a vial that he's like holding on to, and then in the other he's got his like little sword, and he's like like no like but also like the fact that like everything's lit up has got him a bit like he's like so like that's my description of the Nodcap. Yeah, exactly. He's not like wizened to death like the others. He's like a bit leathery, but
imagine the potion something to do with that, probably, if I had to guess.
Don't know.
Don't know. Probably never gonna find out. I'm gonna try and eat him. Just immediately, just like he's confused about what's happening, and I'm a snake, and just
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's the danger that he will stab you while you're doing that.
Yes, I understand this danger,
but I don't feel like this is a hack and slash. I think it's a defy danger. With either strength or
It's not a fight.
It's not a fight.
Yeah,
right? Like
there's
not the option here that you don't get him at.
No, I totally understand. Defy danger with strength makes total sense.
Yeah,
I'm all about it.
Cool.
That's 14.
You eat him. You fucking eat him. He all up in belly.
So ideally, I eat him, and I'm gonna like keep the vial in my mouth, like in a cheek.
Okay, yeah.
And like without breaking it.
Yep.
And like continue to explore a little bit. If there's nothing else to explore, I'll just go back out.
I think you can like make your way. I think there is a path through here, snake that you could go through snake-wise to the other side of the rocks.
No, you're forking snake-wise. The skill is like squeezing.
What did we know what's at the other side of the rocks?
No one's been on the other
place
side
we
yet.
want to be? I mean, I'm curious now. Yeah, I'll go. Sure, let's keep going. If worse comes to worse, I'll snake my way out of here.
Can snakes reverse?
Say again?
Can snakes reverse?
I don't know.
They're like Winnie the Pooh. They can't.
I don't know how it works. Anyway,
Reverse.
you like slip your
Let's
way.
go to cananimalsgoinreverse.com.
So I don't know if they can reverse, but they're very good at like bending. So like worst case scenario, they might be able to just U-turn.
Yeah, right. So yeah, you make your way through, and you can peer out the other side, and it's like lit up by all of these. I think the thing is that like there's that thing of like your eyes are like adjusted to being in a lit up cave, and so when you come out the other side, everything's quite dark. But then, as your eyes adjust to the fact that the caves the rocks that you've been in are lighting the rest of the area, you can see the like continuation. There are more coins here. And then there are 4. The side of the cave has been like chiseled into the side of the chasm has been chiseled into like a more straight format, and there are 4 doors that have been like wooden doors, and one of them has like a golden handprint on it, just like in the center of the door, and the other 4 appear to have like big steel, like old iron like padlocks on them, and then in the center of the space, I think there is probably like a skeleton of a humanoid person.
Is the skeleton like posed in front, like is just in the center, like dead center, like?
No, the bones. It's not in like a. I guess it's not in a skeleton arrangement. The rib cage and like spine are like sat with like sat like upside down, so that the spine is like pointing up, and then like the hip bones and skull are like laid in front, and then like all of the like tibias and that sort of bits are like laid around it in a circle.
If I'm remembering right, the Nodcap like had her I forget pronouns. They like put their hand on the like handprint thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm trying to decide if that was telling them to do that or just showing them what the door looks like. I think I'm gonna slither out. If I look up, is there a way to like fly out of this place, or is that tunnel the only way out?
This bit is where everything fell in. So it's actually like one of the narrowest places at the top, and so the bit in the middle where there's where the skeleton like turned into like sculpture is like spotlighted by the falling sunlight at this point, but you could definitely fly out there. Yeah,
cool. I think I will slither out until all of me is out. I will turn human and like walk around the perimeter of the skeleton and go up to the door with a handprint on it.
Yeah. There's like so you turned into person mode, didn't you? Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, you turn into person mode, and the sound of the like, it's almost as if the sounds from the other side of the stones are just kind of like they're weirdly distant, and so like you're very aware of the crunching of the like of the shale and stuff under your feet, and yeah, you walk around it and up to the door. Yeah, it's like someone like cut it out of like brass or gold, and then like applied it into the center of, and like all of the other doors are not as like, they're not oiled and maintained, whereas this one seems to have been.
I would like to discern realities.
Sounds good.
I think I'm like leaning real close up to the door until I'm barely not touching it with my nose, and like sniffing and like just sort of eyeing it. Yeah, that's a 7. Cool. I get the one question I wanted. What here is not what it appears to be?
It's not a real handprint.
What? I think you sense something about the door communicates like a very subtle buzzing to you.
It's full of bees.
I think that it's like a clicking, buzzing sound. If you were to put your ear right up next to an electric fence.
Yeah, like if I'm like
when I'm gang.
when I'm smelling it, like my nose sort of like tickles and vibrates. Interesting. Yeah.
So yeah, it has the handprint and it has the like, and unlike the other ones, it has like a brass doorknob.
Bees don't have some.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, I mean, this would be cool and all to just open this door, but like that's probably not a good idea. Yeah, I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna just leave the way I came.
Yep, sure thing. So you turn back into a snake to make your way.
Yep.
You do that.
Do you want me to roll again?
No, I don't need you to roll again.
Okay.
Yeah, back on the other side. You can just keep your existing hold. Back on the other side. Yeah, like what does like Chara emerge with holding the chest, or and like Florent, at this point you've kind of like finished sorting all of the coins. Yeah, you reckon there's probably about like, if you were able to carry it all, there'd be like a couple grand of coins here. But at the same time, there's a lot of it is like, a lot of that is in like shitty small change that is hard to carry.
So if I were to just take the valuable stuff, how much are we talking?
So I think there is. Let me do a little math here.
How many coin of coins?
Yeah, right. I reckon there's one weight of gems, which is worth about 500 coins. And then I think there's probably about another 500 worth of like coins that are like not shitty small change, and that's worth 5 weight. And then from there you start getting to like small change, and it starts being like 10 coin worth to the one weight, right? Like, but yeah. So like if they're gold coins, they are 100 to 1 weight. If they're gems, then they're 500 to 1 weight.
Okay.
And this is after you've got the coins that were dug out by Chara as well.
Yeah.
Of gems. Is there 500 coin worth of gems?
Yes, there is 500 coin worth of gems.
There's 1 weight,
which is 1 weight.
500 coins.
That's a lot. That's a lot of gems.
It's
Also
great because
a lot of
I
money.
love just being able to give you coins in this game because it's like, what are you going to spend them on? Because you haven't
Exactly
built anything
right.
to trade in yet.
I'm gonna make a note of that.
And so, Snick ate a centurion. Is there anyone of reasonable rank or knowledge, kind of in the vicinity of dead things?
Yeah, probably. I think you can probably find like a lieutenant or
The head cap.
Yeah, like you can find an important nod cap if you want. I think that's doable without a check.
Cool. I will. Henri is going to clamber out of the catfish mouth
Mm-hmm.
and pull one of the catfish whiskers out of its face. And then she's going to go up to the nod cap and poke the pointy end of the catfish whisker in through its eye
Uh-huh.
and pull out a bit of brain and get me some of that.
Do you need to roll for that?
No.
I mean,
Just
if you're willing to take time to do it, then yeah.
Well, I didn't want to interrupt while everyone else was digging for coins and stuff.
No, that's the
but-
point, right? Like you can be doing this while everyone else is
Yeah,
like digging for
so
coins. So yeah.
I would do that. Possibly just several important looking nod caps. Just
Yeah. What is it? What's the effect of Henri eating
give
brain?
me an interesting piece of knowledge that they knew. I'm thinking magical stuff, but whatever you think.
Let's
I
get.
guess like their strongest brain bit.
Yeah. I kind of want to do this as a spout law. Right? In that, like, I'm not going to penalize you for a 6-. I'm just going to, like, give you
How
more.
good is it?
How good is the
Okay.
information you get?
Okay.
Does that seem reasonable to you?
Yes.
All right. So, yeah. The fort was impenetrable, which was really good. They had this thing that made the like the inside of the fort be bigger, and that it couldn't be like that you couldn't and so they could store all of their like gems and stuff. And that it made it like be magically protected and things, like from like specific certain things. Because they had been worried about this. What's the best way to describe it? Actually, I think you just see, because like Henri recognizes the person that they were scared of being the witch doctor, the like the magic man that turned you into a frog,
Bog wizard.
the bog wizard.
Is it a bog or a fen?
So they had magics. No, it's a wizard, you dingus. They had magics specifically for keeping him out.
Yeah, basically the fact that when they were inside the bigger on the inside space, he couldn't be. He couldn't. They like that was. They understood that threat was not a problem if you're inside the fort when he's around. That's the understanding that you have.
But they don't know anything else about him.
Well, not specifically. That's as much as I can give you for a 7 to 9. Yeah, is that they had a thing that made things be bigger on the inside, and then when you were in there, it wasn't. Yeah.
If only as a playbook I had more options available to me than corpses.
Corpses are a lot of options. Especially when, I'm around. Lots of corpses.
Yeah, and
Did
you can
they
make more.
remember what the thing was that made the space bigger on the inside?
I don't think so. I think that they're like the Centurion knows,
Oh,
right? Like he was the one that like he was their leader, right? Like where they had been like wandering around, and then they'd been like, oh shit, oh no, it's that wizard dude. Oh no, he's gonna, and like I think he had done something like bad that they were like, oh no, we've been attacked or whatever. And then they had united behind Centurion Nodcap because Centurion Nodcap was like, I can make us a fort he can't get in.
Quick question, just for clarification for later. The eating him roll was like a 14, and would you say another thing snakes can do is regurgitate things?
Yes.
I believe you're not a snake anymore.
I turned back into one.
But you stopped being a snake, so you did start digesting for a while.
Sure, but it
Maybe a
wasn't.
little bit of brain.
Yeah, that's it. Do you, like I'm a snake again? Do
I will let you spend a
just-
hold to regurgitate a half-digested Nodcap.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to hear.
Sorry, chat.
Awesome. All right, cool. Thank you.
So Mari comes back from her little stint, and then Henri's explaining in a tiny frog voice about the bog wizard and the magics and the centurion, and Mari's like, "Oh."
And then you mentioned the Centurion, and I'm like, oh! I like take the potion out, I like set it aside for a second, and yeah, you get to watch a snake do that for a second.
Can you imagine a disappointed frog? Like, corpses are her deal, but having to deal, like, a regurgitated corpse? That's a bit weird.
Yep. All right. So yeah, there's a half regurgitated, the half digested, or semi-digested, not.
I stab it in the brain and eat.
That's the bit of this that's weird. The bit where it's half digested.
Yeah. All right. And you
I
want to
feel like
know?
it's not really digested yet. It's
You
more
want to know
just
something that it knew.
Tenderized.
Yes. Okay. In which case, no one is allowed to get in that box because it has the spells that the Nodcap used, the incantations that the Centurion used. The Centurion had special like spells and incantations and stored them in their like special treasure chest.
Can I get more definite, like, as in on scrolls and sticks and things, or as like
There were
a magical bubble in a box?
no in it. So stored in the box were bits of like stone and like papyrus, right, with like these markings on them that had been used to like do one of the things on the tree, and the Centurion knew that if you did that on somewhere else, it would do the same thing. You have the memory of the Centurion getting like a burnt piece of stick and like charcoaling on all of these little spaces and things.
I was worried it was going to be like a Pandora's box that you open and then the world turns inside out because of space-time.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah, so that's what you know.
What's in the box? Although, do we know that
Has Chara emerged?
I mean, I still haven't emerged from the hole. I'm just looking at these cool glowing lights.
Yeah. Did you wanna?
What do they mean?
Did you want to spat lore?
Yeah, I think I do.
Cool.
I was trying to toss up between like, is this a spat law or do I want to descend realities? But I think this is spat law.
I think this is spat lore.
All right, let's see what happens.
All right. So I'm going to tell you something interesting.
Interesting and useful.
And useful. And you. All right. This stone is very old. Once, things were not so sure about which element they were. Whether that was earth or fire or air or like those sorts of things, or metal or
Lightning.
tree, right? Like once those definitions were not as like things weren't so clearly one or the other. And so the only other, so like the example that, and so that's what makes like people and living things so special, in that they haven't resolved out into separation.
Yeah. Okay. And so, like, based on then, like, my knowledge from other adventures of what this does, like, this is lightning stone. It's not sure which one it is. It's got some gender feels going on this one.
Identity.
You know, this rock, it doesn't know, is it like assigned stone at birth? Is it assigned lightning at birth? You know, like
Yeah, it's
yeah. Alright, cool. I'm gonna find one of the glowingest bits, and I'm gonna use my crowbar and use like the head of my staff as like a hammer, and I'm gonna like chip off like a nice big like one weight chunk of it.
I think you can do that.
I mean, take it back to town, and we can do weird apothecary nonsense on it.
Yeah, you can do that. I'm not gonna make you roll for that.
Cool. And then I pop my head back out of the hole I made, and I'm like, big grumpy grandma, weird frog. I found a cool thing, and I found another cool thing. Also, was there thunder? I heard thunder.
Yes.
I feel like at this point, if anyone wants to look up, the sky is not light, but it's really hard to tell from down here.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking up. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. As I say this, I'm like,
Yeah, I think there's just like there was booming.
that sounds like thunder, and I think we should get away from this lightning rock.
I found the
Lightning.
door.
Cool, great, excellent plan. Let's go.
I don't know if you all can get to it, but I found it.
Can we? Is the fold-in bridge and castle is not as tall as the ravine, is it?
No. It's climbable. Yeah.
Climbable.
Climbable.
Shall we do that then?
Mm-hmm.
Are we? I thought the door was like covered in rock,
Nope.
or is it just behind the rock?
It's behind the rock.
Behind us.
Okay.
So yeah, you're all gonna scramble over.
Mm-hmm.
Snake under, but yeah, about the same.
Sounds like
Snunda.
Is
like
the
you're
snake
moving as
hole?
one.
Is the snake hole wide enough that my shoulders will fit through?
No.
Okay. I had to ask.
Which means Chara is too big for Mari to eat as a snake.
This type of snake.
I'm also too full of pointy knives.
I
Either way.
mean,
Why did you eat pointy knives?
That seemed like a bad decision.
I actually need everyone to move together for this
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
I want to
Cool.
know like how you're approaching this and things like that.
I feel like for Chara, this is like the opposite. This is like the inverse of what we saw earlier. Like it's the same careful, like find the big rock that's properly planted enough and like move from big rock to big rock.
Mhm.
It's just that this time we're going up a slope instead of down one.
Yep.
Can I do it laboriously with Constitution?
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
I've already like been back and forth through this passage several times. So like I think it's just a practice of not messing up or like making the passage unstable or whatever.
So what are you rolling for that?
Wisdom?
I'll allow it. Yep.
Ash,
Yes.
am I taking advantage of my small size here?
Does your small size make you quick? Do you feel make you nimble, agile?
It doesn't necessarily make me quick or nimble, but it makes me less likely to make rocks fall down.
Yeah, I'll allow it. Yep.
And I think learning from past mistakes, Florent is going to actually like study and look where the rocks are instead of depending on their dexterity. So I think it's more of an intelligence.
I'm falling.
No, you're not. Your hair is floating up around you.
Even better. Even better. Ash, I have a move here that activates when I get a miss on Defy Danger. Is this close enough that still triggers?
Well, no, because Anya has rolled a 10.
I mean, only if Florence saves me.
I mean, Florence, do you want to save Chara?
Yes.
Okay. Fine.
So, Florence, yeah, you've made it across like quite quickly. You know, you've learned the lesson. And you see, like, Chara, I think, is standing at the top being like, whoa, look at my hair doing this thing. And you're like, oh no, that's bad. And I think, yeah, I think you snatch Chara away like a split second before like there's a crack from the sky and like the whole thing just deafeningly, like the whole inside of the chasm just becomes like white with pain sound, as the anger of the sky just like blows the shit out of the top of the pile of rocks, and they go dull. And now it is dark, and you can hear everyone else like breathing or like moving, but like the clouds have covered up any sunlight down here, and now there is nothing to like illuminating the space. Chara, you feel
Point of order. My move says when you roll a 6-.
Okay, in which case that
did happen.
Yes. What does that do?
I'm resourceful. When you defy danger and roll a 6-, ask the GM a question from Discern Realities after they describe what happens.
Yes, cool, great, do it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask a question. Oh, you know it's a really interesting question.
I don't know, Luke. What is a really interesting question?
Because we literally had this conversation when Steven was here about players asking dumb questions. And I'm just trying to decide, no, fuck it. Who's really in control here?
Sky Wizards.
Who's really in control here?
Yeah, on like the other side where the doors are. Who's in control?
Florent, because she's holding you like a child.
Person put skeleton in weird shape and be behind a door. Is really in control here.
The skeleton sculpture is like outside the lighthouse in Annihilation.
Yep.
Yep, cool. So yeah, whoever did that is in control. Yeah, legit. And so yeah, I'm just like lying there like on my back on top of Florent. Like with my hair still like all stood up and like staticky.
I know it's not, right? Like after a lightning strike, the static just goes out of most things.
That's true. Actually, yeah, so it's all flopped and floofy. And I just reach back and like pat Florent's face, and I'm like, good job, big grown up. I needed help that time.
God damn it, Luke.
And
I think Florent's expression was exactly what my expression just was.
And then I'm gonna get myself up. I'm gonna pick myself up. I'm gonna use my last adventuring gear to have like a torch and something to light it with. And I'm gonna light a torch, and I'm just gonna go over to the door and put my hand on the handprint.
Cool, excellent. Let me just look that up.
You're muted up.
Oh, thank you. Not gonna stop you, but like when you walk up to him, be like, it smelled like burning.
Cool.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like the whole room kind of smells like burning right now.
Yeah, right?
Sure. But like, just saying.
Yeah, so that's actually this is an interesting. Okay, here's what, like, you go up, you put your hand on the your soul catches on fire and you're launched bodily backwards from the door.
Nah,
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for.
I'm too brave.
Yeah. How are you resisting this?
My soul is too fucking brave. Like, I already have a soul on fire.
Right.
Go
Okay.
fuck yourself, ancient magic.
All right. What, does that sound like defying danger with wisdom?
That does sound like defying danger with wisdom.
Okay.
Alas, the wording of my heritage ability doesn't help. It's called small but fierce, but unfortunately there's no mechanical bit for the fierce part.
Yeah.
But I am. That
I like
bit's
the fact
very
that you have to reach up to press your hand on this thing. Holy heck! All right, yeah. In which case, yeah. Sorry, I should have established what like win condition would look like for this. I mean, you touch it, and it feels like it feels like something is going to explode from within you, from like out of your skin, but you just like muscle through it.
Is it like holding onto an electric fence and then going, "Whoa, electric fence"?
It's almost like
You know that's not a universal experience, Cammy.
It should be.
I think what it is.
There's
Is like-
for so we can like negotiate this. There's an incredible amount of energy being like forced through you and like outward from within you.
Yeah, I feel like it's just like it's for Chara. It's just like when they get angry. Like it's
I have an idea.
I have a move that is all about like my righteous anger and how I use it.
Yeah,
'Cause
right.
I'm like a little kid who's like angry because the world's unfair. Like it's just like that. It's like, oh shit, overwhelmingly powerful feeling in me. But I know how to handle that.
Alternative childlike solution. You just do a really big flaming fart.
No,
oh, please don't.
no potty humor.
Yeah, and so I think what I'm gonna do. This is maybe not the best idea in the world, but I'm gonna do it anyway. I think what they do is they just like set their feet, let out this like long huff. I think we see like their hair like smoldering and like maybe even catching fire like a tiny bit. And they're just like back in that like right back in that rage place they were in when they saw the statues. And they just take their staff and they just slam it into the door, trying to like smash through the stone, driven by this
through the
incredible
wood.
power. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna spend one of my rage, which is the hold that I have, to strike hard, which does plus 1d6 damage and makes it forceful.
No.
No.
I mean, like, so is that it? So it does 1d6 damage. Can you just read me the description for that specifically again?
Strike hard plus 1d6 forceful damage.
For when you attack it, for what move?
Spend one rage to pick one. It does not require that it be part of a hack or slash.
Okay, but like a door doesn't have hit points, right? Like, let me have a look. I want to check the force. I'm checking the forceful tag because I'm pretty sure the forceful tag just knocks a creature back. Like the point I'm making here is that you aren't a warrior with Benbar's lift gates.
That's true.
So I want to just like if the forceful tag is breaks shit, that's cool. But if it's not, then I'm not gonna.
Forceful is it can knock someone back a pace, maybe even off their feet.
Yeah. So I think the thing here is that like I like, and you're holding it in one hand and keeping your hand on the thing. I think what happens is that like the stick just like you smash it against the door and it does that thing of like of like just bouncing off and like the stick tumbles aside. And I'm not going to make you spend that hold, right? Like
Yeah, that's fair.
because it doesn't apply to this thing because it's not, you're not doing damage, you're not dealing damage. So yeah, everyone else, the child is currently where are you holding, where's your torch?
Child. That's a good point. Actually, so maybe it was the torch I hit the torch.
Yeah, so the torch. So for everyone else,
makes more sense.
The torch goes like scattering across to the dirt and kind of starts to gutter a little.
Although I don't want to like completely derail this, I do have a question about my heritage.
Yes.
So my heritage is MacGuffin.
Ah.
Go to familytree.org.
Yep. So yeah.
And I have chosen its form and flaw, but I don't know its function.
Right. What is its form and flaw?
Its form is it is a large dusty traveling cloak from the outside, but the inside is inky black with pinpricks of starlight.
Uh-huh.
And its flaw... Or did I say I've chosen its form and flaw? I don't know its function.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, and its flaw is that it cannot be closed properly. Like, it has to be held closed or else it will not.
Interesting. So yeah, I think with pinpricks of stone. I think it has something to do with when someone who is wearing it dies.
That's lovely to hear.
I think something happens when something to do with the like death knell move, right? Like the move that you have to roll when you die. I'm not entirely sure what that is yet, but I think I think it does something when you make that move. Just because of the like inky blackness and the pinpricks of starlight, that seems to indicate that to me.
So like, what's the plan with the door? Like, are we just gonna?
Chara is pounding on it with their fist.
Would you like some help with that?
I don't think they're just like that is how they are dealing with this big.
You know, it has a doorknob, right?
I don't think they care. Like, cool. They are filled with a big feeling, and this is how they are dealing with it.
I think what happens then, if you're pounding on it, is that it opens.
Yeah, cool.
Outward, and a man with high cheekbones, a square jaw, and a pointy chin, and like his hair in a high top knot down to a long ponytail, peers out, and is like, "Can I help you?"
I punch him in the chest, not like deliberately, but like I'm still like I'm like halfway through the motion, and I just like accidentally like I just hit him in the chest.
Are you spending a hold?
Is it more interesting if I do? I kind of think it is. So yeah,
it's more interesting if you punch him in the dick.
That's a good point, and I am just about the height for it too.
Forceful tag in the dick.
Yeah, like normally, Ash, I'd be with you to try and stem Cammy's. Kind of like need to make everything
it's
like
fine.
this.
Yeah,
but
no,
I think it is. The dick is probably more at my hand height. So yeah, I punch him in the junk, and yes, I'm going to spend the hold. So should I roll my damage?
Yes.
Cool.
Oh no.
I only do 3, but it's forceful.
Yeah, he like you know, bends a little and like takes a step back, and I think grabs your hand and grabs your arm, right?
Yeah, and like as soon as it makes contact, Chara is suddenly like, oh no, and like like grabs his hand and like helps keep him on his feet. And he's like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, his hand is really cold.
Okay.
But yeah, he's like, and like behind him in the door, like he's illuminated by the firelight, but by the guttering torch, but like not anything behind him in the place. And yeah, he's like, he like looks at you and is like, a child, and then like looks out across the rest of them and is like, adventurers.
I have a question. I have two questions.
Mm-hmm.
You say his hand is cold.
Yeah.
Do you mean cold like the hand of a person who is hanging out in Canberra and it's very cold? Or do you mean cold, unnaturally cold, like the hand of a dead thing? Or not necessarily a dead thing, but like a thing that is like below...
They are from Canberra.
That's fair.
Like
is he... Could a living thing be that cold?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Is his hand the same size as the handprint on the door?
Yes.
I would like to instruct my assistant to potter over to where the torch is laying on the ground and pick it up, and I want to look at the skeleton.
Yeah, I think the figure from the door says, "Please don't touch that. It's very important."
What's it do?
He's like, it's magical.
It's from inside a fish.
Yeah, right. He's like, it's magical. It's helps keep the place safe.
From
Bog wizards?
He's like, I'm not familiar with that school, but intrusion in general. He like gestures towards the towards the like fallen stones, and you can see that like the stones have fallen with like a perfect perimeter away from the thing. And he's like, I don't tend to invite visitors.
Mister, are you an elf?
He's like, I am.
What does that mean?
Yeah, he's like, once, a very long time ago.
And like Chara's eyes like light up, and they like.
And I think he closes the door behind himself.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and they try, if he's willing, they like pull him over, like find him a thing to sit on, and like sit down in front of him, like, oh, it's story time.
Yeah, yeah, and he's like, once long ago, different creatures rose up from the soil and wandered the earth. And he like gestures towards. Are you still a snake?
I think so.
Yeah, he like.
So we've all been invited in.
Well, no. He
We're
stepped
all
out.
outside.
He stepped
Yeah.
out. He's like, and he's like, different creatures, rose up from the earth, and some of them were happy to go about their lives, and some of them had ambition. And those with ambition, those that were not simply willing to accept life and death and within the splintering wheel, rose up onto often 2 feet, maybe more, maybe less, and became what became known as elves, and things called dwarves, and things called men, and things called and all number of other creatures, kobolds, goblins.
I've heard of them.
Yeah, and he's like, and for a while, they all existed separately, but their ambition led them to roam across the lands, and eventually they encountered each other, And for many years there were wars, and there was diplomacy, and they had their own kingdoms and their own cities and their own and all of these sorts of things. And then the desolation came, and Oli abandoned all of the peoples and his requirement for them to look after the land. And the land started to die, and they could no longer, and none of these peoples could continue to stand on their own. And so over time, they became as one, and so it is now that while there are still kobolds and elves and such things in the world, there is also every spectrum between. And he looks down at you and he says, "I see dwarf in your eyes, and I see some burning passion that suggests that maybe someone in your past might have been a fierce and mighty warrior, perhaps that is a known trait of what were once called orcs."
And yeah, my chest puffs up a little, and I'm like, and then Horu brought the world back to life, right?
He's like, yes, that is. He's like, the Horu returned life to the world, certainly.
Because Horu brings dead things, death in life. And Chara kind of looks over at Henri like, oh god, I'm describing your religion, but I'm doing it really badly. I'm very sorry. This is very rude of me. And is like, are you the only elf down here?
Down here? Yes, I am. I haven't seen another elf in a long time.
Where did all your family go?
He's like, I think he looks sad for a moment and goes, my family didn't really value me.
I reach out and put a hand on his knee, and I'm like, I'm an orphan too. I get it.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I think he says, elven mothers were never good at caring for their sons.
Yeah, one of my dad died, and my other dad wandered off. And sometimes I just get really angry. Do you get angry?
He's like, I imagine not like you.
I feel like this is Express.
Yes.
We're gonna try a new move, everyone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
exciting.
At the edge of the torchlight, my eyes are just glittering, kind of just staring at him.
Yeah. Also,
don't you dare eat my new elf dad.
I'm not thinking of eating him. I don't know what I'm thinking, but what were you gonna ask, Ash?
It sounds like you were reading you were discerning realities.
Yeah, that's probably what I'm doing.
Yeah, so you can roll that as well, and then I'll see what they look like these two checks look like in tandem.
9.
Alright, so both of you get to choose one from a list.
Yeah. Scrolling up. There's a few here. There's 2 I really like. I really wish this was a 10, but 9 shall do.
I mean, are we being helped? Anya, are you I know you were joking about it in Zoo chat, but were you actually strumming a song along with his story? Because I'm very into that. I think that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like just out of habit, if there's stories being told,
yeah. So
is trying to find the tune to go along with them.
It's is there some way that might be helping me with my thing?
No, it might be helping Alice, but
are you okay assisting me?
Sure.
Cool. I will re-roll that 2. 3. That is a 10. Amazing. Do you want to go first, or should I?
I'm thinking.
All right. Alice can do her.
I can go then because I know my questions.
Mm-hmm.
So what here is not what it appears to be, for one.
Mm-hmm. There is he is a version of himself currently.
Okay.
Right? He is not presenting himself as everything that he is.
Okay, cool. What here should I be on the lookout for?
Filthy elf lies.
Dangerous elf truths.
If he's as old as he is, as he says, like he has a very he has like very fine clothes, and I think like you're picking up on the things that are like his overgrown fingernails, right? And like the like hollowness of his cheeks and things like that, right? Like you're getting a read of like creepiness from him.
Okay. What is about to happen?
I have an answer to this question.
Well, I was going to say, like, your friend is about to, like, put their trust in this person, right? Like,
yeah. I guess I sort of mean, like, I can't really determine, like, give a timeline for that, because, like, I've been watching, and I mean, like, after, I guess, like...
Yeah.
What's a broader sort of thing?
I'm going to give you the word grooming.
Yeah, no, okay. I'm gonna turn out the snake now. That's gonna be a thing. Like, by the way, I haven't like described her changing forms at all, but it's not like, yeah, like with snakes, it's all bones going away, but with turning back into a person, like all of the bones kind of regrow and like expand. Sorry, I'm really looking forward to B.O.B. Describing this stuff is fun.
No, I'm into it. It's just awful.
Yeah, and then like eventually settles down into her form, which I think she has like a lot of like goblin features and things like that. But like, yeah, so I think it's like the story.
So
stories always
before we like step forward in the action, Lucas.
Lucas
needs to be resolved as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can you answer me a question first, Ash?
Maybe.
Yeah, so like the last thing I said to him in character was like, do you feel like I feel really, and sometimes I feel really angry that my family abandoned me. Like, do you feel like that? Like, how does he respond?
His response was, I'm sure not in the same way that you, like it was not in the way that you do. I'm sure. And he's presenting it to you as if like your anger is more real, more powerful, more.
Yeah.
Like he's playing into that. Like you have like. You know,
you've got special destiny.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with they honor your trust and will not soon betray it.
Cool. Excellent. Yeah. He's like, but thank you for sharing it.
Can I, as a frog poking out of a catfish's mouth on top of a humanoid corpse, to use my second sight granted to me by Horu, and see what kind of magic he is?
Oh, necromancy.
Yeah.
Like just all up necromancy? Full of necromancy?
Yeah, he is not death leads to life, leads to death, leads to life. He is this thing continues to exist by sheer force of will and like rather than and it's, you know, it's sheer force of will and energy, blah 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 blah.
Can we shorthand that to kind of like a lich?
Yeah.
It's
like kind of like a lich. Not specifically, but yeah.
Not animated by someone else.
No.
Yeah, so like I like reach out and I take his hand.
Weird vibes. I would like to step in.
Yep.
If that's okay.
What does that look like?
And Well, I think it's like she turned back into human. There was like some cracking sounds and
Yeah,
things, but it was like
yeah,
all
yeah,
off camera and shadowy.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
and
she
then
like
her hand just comes into frame.
yeah, and she like puts a hand on Kara's shoulder and is like looks again. She's taller than Kara, but not by too much. She's like 5'2", 5'4", somewhere around there. And she like, looks up at this elf thing and is like, stories from old people tend to be misguided, tend to have biases and misjudgments and focused on them and things they think are important. You're not.
I think Chara's other hand like reaches down and like squeezes your hand like it's cool, pal. Like I know this is shady. Like they give you the they give you the like I don't worry. Like I am not like about to do that kind of a dumb thing.
Okay. I think that's about her reaction.
Yeah.
Where it's like she like looks at you, being like expecting to be like, okay, I'm taking charge, I'm protecting you, and you give a look like, I know this is don't worry.
I know
it's
this is shady. I'm doing a thing.
Okay, and she's like, I think she'll just like take a step back and just like stare at this thing with her
like
creepy eyes.
like from up close, he's like you're like struck. It's that thing where like things look different when they're further away. And from up close, he's so beautiful.
Yeah, and Chara's like, yeah, but like, it doesn't mean that stories aren't interesting. And it's like, tell me about this door. Who made the door? Why is the door not made of brass? And like, leads him over to like, wants to like, steer him and lead him over to like the door to explain what's going on with it. And then in a moment where he is not expecting it, make him touch his hand to the handprint.
So yeah,
like grab him by the wrist and like force him.
I think he's like.
And I want to see what happens.
Yeah, I think he like happily wanders over with you, not making physical contact. And he's like, the door. I made it. It's and he's like, and he like goes up to it and like he just puts his hand on it and like opens it and is like. And unfortunately, I am very tired.
Does he put his hand on the door, like on the handprint?
He puts one hand on the handprint and then opens the door with the doorknob.
And
yeah, he's like he opens the doorknob and is like, I'm happy to tell you more stories another time, but I'm a little bit tired and I've got a lot of things to do before bed.
That seems reasonable.
Yeah, and he steps inside and is like, "Can you please make sure you don't make a mess?" As he's about to like. And
Chara does the child thing, like, "Yes, we will not do that. I promise."
Cool, and he's like, "Thank you so much." And like, and it's like, don't worry about the noise. The door keeps most of it out, and like closes the door behind him.
Yeah. Clearly, he hasn't interacted with children a lot because Chara, the way of children, was not telling the truth.
Like Mara, like gnashes her fangs at the door when it's closed, like just
he
as
was
a sort of like
weird.
He's like
sits back.
I think Henri informs. How do you talk about necromancy to like teenagers? Jeez.
Just talk about it. It's how do you talk to anything to children? Just fucking talk to them like they're people.
Yeah, like one of these kids is a fucking druid that turns into creepy shit. So like,
sorry for being condescending. Henri explains that he was full of necromancy magic kind of sustaining himself, so he wasn't a zombie for someone else, like, and she gestures to her minion as a frog. And explains that he is very old because he's holding himself together with magic.
Weird.
Things shouldn't live that long.
I kind of want to collect the skeleton.
I also want to do a thing. And this is actually like Chara. Like, I also want to do a thing, so we should do those things. Because he said the door would mean he wouldn't hear us.
What sort of... Sorry, because I've got my magic eye on, what sort of magic is the door, and what sort of magic is the skeleton pile?
The skeleton pile is... Actually, you know what? I think we'll take a break because I just need to think about that for a minute.
Yep.
We're overdue for one anyway. So let's take a break and I will answer questions when we get back.
Okay.